Okay, guys, we're going to talk about the offense that we're going to run this year. This is what's called a 4-2 offense, and how that works is there's the 4 means that there's 4 different hitters, and the 2 means that there's 2 different setters. So if you can see on this, these orange guys are the front row, but we have a middle blocker on the front row, an outside hitter on the front row, setter on the front row, middle blocker in the back row, outside hitter in the back row, setter on the back row, and they're opposite each other because you need to have one of each on the front row and one on the back row at all times. What the 4 means is that at all times you'll have 2 hitters and 1 setter on the front row, and back here you'd have 2 and 1. But so you have 4 hitters that are these guys, whoops, these ones, and then the 2 setters. We also have the libero, and we will have a libero this year more than likely. I will make sure that happens. And we'll talk about them later. But so what happens in a 4-2 is we have the court is divided into 3 sections, and each of these people are in their, as we've talked about, they're in their home. Their home is where they are in the rotation. So the setter's home is right here, outside hitter's home is right here, middle blocker's home is right there, setter outside middle. That's where their home is, but they need to get to their job. So this side of the court is where the setter's job is. This down the middle is for the middle blocker, that's their job, and then the setter is on, or the outside hitter is on this side of the court. So that's their job, but they can't cross over because this middle person can't be on this side of that outside hitter. And they can't be behind the setter. So they can't cross over until after the ball is served. So we're going to put this setter back here to serve. We'll pretend that this little thing is the ball. But when we're serving the ball, the most important person on the front row is going to be the middle blocker when we're serving. And so what we want to do is get the middle blocker to their spot as close as possible. And then we have the outside hitter who is already next to them. So they just scoot over a little bit. And then the setter is going to run over here once the ball is served. Now, just real quickly, we're not going to move the back row around. So all you have to do is get into base, which is in these spots right here, as we've talked about before. So after the setter serves, they're going to come running up and get into that spot right there. Okay, and then this setter, once we serve, they'll come around and get to that spot right there. Okay, so this setter serves a ball, comes onto this side of the court. While they're waiting, this person comes running in to base defense. Setter runs around, and then they are ready to play when the ball gets pushed over. Okay, ball comes over, gets passed over to one of these 3 or short to one of those guys, and this setter is going to get second touch. So when the ball comes over here, and we've worked on this, these people will transition back so that they can hit. Ball gets passed up to the setter, who sets to the middle or to the outside, and they hit it over. And they go back to their job, and they stay there until the ball is dead. Okay, let's say that this side gets the ball. Then we'll pull out a hitter for this side. So this team is going to serve now. So everybody has to go back to their home. So middle blocker slides back over, outside hitter, and then the setter's here. And then how we're going to pass is we got to get when they're serving, the other team is serving, the most important person on the court is the setter in the front row. So we want to get the setter as close to this spot as possible. So what we're going to do in the back row is in a straight line to pass, and we're going to back up this person and then back up this person. We've talked about this. We put them in a W formation like this. And then the setter, as soon as the ball gets served, the setter will run over here to set the middle blocker, who will hit in the middle. Outside hitter will hit over here. And then we'll keep going. So the ball comes over to the outside hitter in the back row. They pass it up to the setter. And then the middle blocker hits it. Comes on to the other side of the court. Now the setter stays there. The middle blocker stays there. Outside stays there. And then, if you remember, we get back to base defense here. And then everybody's good to go. Ball comes over, passes over to the middle blocker. These guys transition back. Goes up to the setter, who sets out to the outside hitter, who hits a 4. And then they come up and we move the ball again. Okay, so that's the first rotation. Okay, next, we get the ball back. So it comes back here. Now we have to rotate. Everybody goes back to their home. So we're back here. We have to rotate. So middle blocker comes back here. Outside hitter moves over. Setter moves over. Middle blocker moves up. Outside hitter. Setter. Okay, so now this is the new home. So I'm going to actually switch. This orange means their front row. So now we have the back row middle blocker. Okay, and the back row middle blocker is going to serve. Okay, now, as we said before, the most important person is the middle blocker on the front row. So we want to put the middle blocker as close to where they're going to be as possible, because they have to play defense first. So the setter's on this side of them, they just scooch over. Middle blocker's right here, and now the outside hitter runs over. And if you'll notice, that's like the mirror image of what was happening before. So we'll move them back. So the outside hitter is ready to go. And then when the ball is served, the outside hitter runs around to the outside. This middle blocker comes in to play base defense. Setter stays back there. Outside hitter there. And everybody's good to go. Okay. Let's go back to our home. Okay, the other team gets the ball back. This team is going to serve again. So now we need to get the setter to where they can be in the spot they want, which is pretty much where they're at right now. So the back row is going to be in a straight line. This outside hitter is going to go into the W format or formation, and then the middle blocker right there will be in the W formation. So ball comes over, passes up to the setter, who passes here. Now this time the middle blocker is going to come out here to hit because they're closer to this area, and this outside hitter is going to come in the middle and hit in front. So they hit it, the ball comes over here, then everybody goes to their positions. These guys move how they're supposed to as well, and then we're good to go. Okay, now we get the ball back. Everybody goes back to their home. And then we rotate. Okay, so now we'll switch this outside hitter and this outside hitter. And this outside hitter goes back to serve. Then, now, the most important person is the middle blocker. So they're already there. So they don't even have to move. Outside hitter doesn't have to move. Setter doesn't have to move. They're good to go. So as soon as the outside hitter serves, they just run up here and then run base defense, and everybody's happy. No problems at all. So that one's an easy one. Okay, then the other team gets the ball. So they're going to serve over here. So everybody, now we have to back up, get into the W format again. Then the setter is right there. Middle blocker, outside hitter. The middle blocker will hit a 2. Outside hitter will hit a 4. And then we're all good there. So the ball comes over. The outside hitter passes it to the setter, who sets it to the middle blocker. They hit it. Everybody goes up. And we get to base defense, which is important. And then we're good. We're all set. Okay. So that, in reality, there's only really 3 rotations that you have to worry about, because the back row, you just play in your spot where you're at, play in your home, and then in the in these spots, there's only 3 places you'll be that you have to worry about. So we get the ball back after this play, and we're going to rotate again. Whoops. The middle blocker, outside hitter, setter. Okay, now we switch the setters. And this is back to the first rotation that we did, where the setter is serving. And then everything is the same from here. Okay, I'm going to stop it here. Let me know if you have any questions, but try to watch this a couple times so you understand where you need to go. And yeah, we'll talk about it more on practice, but this is how we're going to do it in tournaments. And then I'll create a new video where we talk about the libero. Okay,